If you're thinking about selling your home in Pensacola, pricing it correctly matters more right now than it has in a long time. And what happens the first 2 weeks on the market can completely change your outcome. I'm Pepper White. I'm a local Pensacola realtor, and I help buyers and sellers navigate this market every day. Number one, why the first 2 weeks matter more than ever. When a home first hits the market, that initial exposure window is critical. Buyers who have been monitoring the market are immediately notified about the listing, which drives your highest visibility during that period. Now, if you're priced correctly, it will generate showings, it will drive urgency, and frankly, even preserve some of your, negotiation leverage. But if you're not priced correctly, then buyers are likely going to scroll by. You will get limited, if any, showings, and your momentum will dwindle. Number two, what overpricing really costs sellers. So many sellers believe that they should leave room for negotiations, but often in today's market, that strategy backfires because, as we just said, overpriced listings often lead to buyers scrolling past them, ignoring them, limited showings, which means your home lingers on the market and ultimately leads to price reductions. And the longer your home sits on the market, the more people begin to wonder what might be wrong with it. I don't want you to take this just from me. I actually want to share some data that I pulled from our local MLS that illustrates homes that have sold in the past 30 days within the greater Pensacola area and what impact their timing to contract had on the seller's bottom line. So, homes that went under contract in the first 14 days were on the market for an average of 4 days, and they sold at 99% of their list price. Terrific. Those sellers also likely only had one more month of carrying costs because give or take as a closing happens about 30 days from contract. Now, for the homes that went under contract from day 15 to day 30, they were on the market an average of 22 days and they sold at 97% of their list price. And while that's not too bad either, they also, though, likely had another month of carrying costs for a total of 2 months. So that's also hitting sellers in the pocket. And then finally, for those homes that went under contract day 31 and beyond, they were on the market for an average of 117 days and they sold at 96.2% of their listing price. Now, while that may not seem like a very significant difference from those who were under contract in days 15 to 30, what it did mean is they had at least 3 more months of carrying costs for a total of 5 months of carrying costs. And that's just for those that were under contract in that average time period. So that is also hitting sellers pretty hard in the pocket. You've got to remember it's beyond just the sales price. It's what it's costing you to continue to run and keep the home. Number three, why testing the market with your price backfires more now. In a fast market like we had at the peak of the frenzy years a few years back, it was okay to test the market because honestly, the inventory was so limited and buyers were being very competitive. Now we're in a much more balanced market, which means there are many more options for buyers to choose from. They are very patient and they are being very discerning when they look at homes. So if your home is overpriced, they will wait. There may be something better on the market. But whenever you do get to doing a price reduction, your home is no longer new. It's the home that, kind of sat and lingered, and perhaps questions about what may be wrong with it or how difficult sellers may be for negotiations start to enter their minds. Number 4, how buyers interpret price reductions. This can run the gamut. I've heard it all a little bit, I think. It can be from the obvious of, well, they were overpriced to start with, so it's about time they start reducing the price, to, oh, they must be desperate to sell another price reduction. Or it could be that house was currently or previously under contract. Now it's not. There must be inspection issues. There must be something wrong with the house. So they're having to drop the price. The reality is it can be anything, but all of those are pretty negative connotations for buyers to have. In general, I think the price reductions that you may see very, small increments that happen frequently is often contributing to the negative connotations or perceptions that buyers have versus when sellers do a single price reduction. And what I mean by that is if you went on the market and you expected to be priced correctly, but the market has now told you not quite, so you do a single price reduction in order to get to where you believe the market is now, that one larger price reduction versus the multiple, what I call death by a million cuts, is typically perceived better by buyers. I've even had buyers say that that seller must be reasonable and understand the market we're in now, rather than trying to be in the market of the peak years a few years back. If you're planning to sell and want to be sure you get pricing right from the start, please be sure to click the subscribe button to get more local strategy and information. And comment price, that's PRICE, if you want help thinking through what your home could realistically command in today's Pensacola market.